Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. So I'm going to continue under subtopic natural rubber, still di bawah topik polymer. This another subtopic is about vulcanization. Before this, we discuss about the concept of coagulation yang melibatkan penggunaan coagulant and non-coagulant. Coagulant is substance that will make the coagulation occur. Non-coagulant is substance to prevent coagulation. That is the idea in our previous lesson. So for today, we focus on vulcanization. So before we go, what is vulcanization? We look at on the characteristic of natural rubber first. So natural rubber, the characteristic is actually depend on the rubber polymer itself that are natural elastomeric polymers. Okay, it depends on the rubber polymer, meaning that if we are talking about natural rubber, kita akan fokus pada bahagian yang sebenarnya akan mempengaruhi the characteristic is on the rubber molecule yang berada di dalam negatively protein membrane. That's one yang kita akan fokus. What we have there, kita akan jumpa the presence of double bond. Kita ada satu double bond in the rubber molecules. Okay, that is this structure of carbon-carbon double bond will affect the resistance of natural rubber towards oxidation by air. So as we know, the presence of carbon-carbon double bond ini adalah bahagian yang a little bit weak, bahagian yang lemah. So it will easily oxidize by the air. That's why in rubber estate, okay, if you go to the rubber estate, so you're going to smell bau yang agak busuk because the rubber molecules is oxidized by the air. Part mana yang lemah tu, so dia akan berlaku at this area, the carbon-carbon double bond. So because of this, the presence of this carbon-carbon double bond, so we have this characteristic. Number one, soft white solid at room temperature. So how can you imagine? It's like you pegang dough, tepung dough tu, soft, very soft and white in color, and it is white solid. Elastic, it can be stretched, you boleh tarik, and then bila you lepaskan, it can return to its original shape when you release. Low heat resistant, the natural rubber at high temperature will become soft and sticky. Okay, dia akan jadi melekit. Electrical insulator is also characteristic of natural rubber. Cannot conduct electricity, so it is good as electrical insulator. Okay, so penebak haba yang sangat penebak elektrik yang sangat bagus. So kalau you nak menghalang electric from flow, you can put the rubber. Easily oxidized, it can react. Which part react? At the double bond, it will going to react and cause the rubber to be oxidized. So ini akan menyebabkan dia bau yang agak busuk. Reactive to chemicals, easily react with acid, alkali and organic solvent. Waterproof, it is water impermeable. So if we look at to the characteristic of natural rubber is, we can say, is affect mostly by the presence of the carbon-carbon double bond. So bahagian ni yang akan berlakunya reaction dengan acid, with the alkali, with the air. Okay, so with this characteristic, so what we can say, natural rubber banyak kelemahan dia lah. Okay, so we need to do something to treat our natural rubber, because as we know, rubber ni banyak penggunaan dia. So dalam keadaan dia yang macam ni, we cannot produce tire because it is not high, cannot resistant to temperature. So kalau kita park kereta tengah panas, nanti dia akan melt. And then natural rubber itself, kalau we directly we want to produce the glove, is not suitable sebab nanti it's going to oxidize. So your hand akan bau busuk. And then you cannot have the shape macam rubber glove punya shape sebab dia soft. So agak sukar. So dia banyak kegunaan, tapi kita kena rawat dia dulu before we use the rubber, natural rubber. So how to treat? This is the process. Okay, the process is known as vulcanization. What is the vulcanization? Vulcanization is the process whereby we produce rubber that is more elastic, lebih elastic, and with better quality through the production of cross-link between the rubber polymer chain. This is how vulcanization is produced. Okay, we form cross-link cross-link between the rubber chain. Okay, so vulcanization by using sulfur is the main method used to produce vulcanized rubber from natural rubber. So how vulcanization dihasilkan? We are using sulfur in vulcanization. Nonetheless, this vulcanization cannot be used for certain type of rubber. Okay, particularly the synthetic rubber. Synthetic rubber vulcanization, we don't add the sulfur because dia tak ada carbon-carbon double bond for the synthetic rubber. Carbon-carbon double bond is present in natural rubber only. So how can we treat our synthetic rubber? We have a few method. Kita ada peroxide, we have iridation and metal oxide. Okay, so I already simplified to you. Vulcanization is the process to treat the rubber. We have two types of rubber. You need to check what type of rubber. Kalau rubber you adalah natural rubber, so you can have two method. Okay, kalau natural rubber, apa keistimewaan natural rubber? Natural rubber, it contain carbon-carbon double bond. Okay, synthetic rubber, there is no carbon-carbon double bond. Okay, so for natural rubber, untuk vulcanize dia akan melibatkan sulfur. So how? We have two method. Either we heat the rubber with sulfur at 140 degrees Celsius using zinc oxide as catalyst. Kita panaskan natural rubber dengan sulfur. Or we just dip, kita celup natural rubber in a solution. That solution is disulfur dichloride in methyl benzene. So the formula is disulfur dichloride is S2Cl2. In disulfur dichloride also contain sulfur. So the idea vulcanization untuk natural rubber mesti ada sulfur. For synthetic rubber, because it didn't contain carbon double bond, so we don't use the sulfur. So kita akan pakai the other method, either metal oxide or using peroxide or iridation. Iridation is involving the gamma rays. Okay, melibatkan gamma rays. So you can explore and surf by your own to get more information if you want to know more about iridation and peroxide and also metal oxide. But the simple example I give here is the vulcanization for neoprene. What is neoprene? Neoprene is a synthetic rubber. So bila kita sebut synthetic rubber, it is not from the rubber tree and it didn't contain carbon-carbon double bond. So how to treat this synthetic rubber? We are using metal oxide such as magnesium oxide and zinc oxide. So we still have the vulcanization process, tapi dia berbeza mengikut the type of rubber. So you can explore and get more information by scan through this code, or you can surf by your own from the internet. Okay, so we're going to focus on how vulcanization of natural rubber occur. Okay, so this is the rubber molecule. We have the repeating subunit of monomer here. This is one monomer and another one. We have two. Okay, and then the second layer of rubber. Okay, this one. So jangan pelik why CH3 dia berbeza. Kita boleh letak mana-mana, atas bawah pun tak ada masalah. Still the same structure. Okay, so this is like two layers of a rubber molecule. Okay, so this is our polyisoprene or our polymer of natural rubber. Okay, so when I dip or I heat my polyisoprene, ataupun nama lain dia natural rubber, when we heat in sulfur or dip in disulfur dichloride, so what happen, we only focus on the double bond part. Pada bahagian double bond, sulfur will be there. Okay, so this is our carbon double bond. Carbon double bond, break the double bond, and then you have the sulfur in between the first layer of the rubber molecule and the second layer. So dia akan menghubungkan di antara layer yang pertama dan layer yang kedua. So what happen, daripada dua lapisan rubber molecule yang berbeza, dia menjadi satu lapisan yang attached together. So this junction is known as the sulfur cross link. Okay, we known as the sulfur cross link. So apa yang sulfur cross link ni buat? So when we try to stretch, bila kita tarik, the sulfur cross link dia menghubungkan di antara the layers of the polymer. So bila you tarik, this sulfur will pull back the rubber into its original position. Number one. And also because the presence of this sulfur, dia akan menyebabkan tak bau busuk lah macam yang sebelum ni. Okay. So the sulfur akan muncul di mana? Only area yang ada carbon-carbon double bond. Okay. So this is how we produce vulcanized rubber in laboratory. First, we must have 25 cm³ of latex, meaning that di dalam keadaan liquid. Okay, so we already learned how to make sure dalam liquid form. We just add the ammonia solution. Okay, so in liquid form, we add a few drop of ethanoic acid. Who is ethanoic acid? Is an acid. So this is will make the coagulation occur. So who is ethanoic acid? Dia adalah sejenis coagulant. Okay, and then we stir and then pour the latex into white towel and spread using the glass rod. Sebab kita nak buat dalam bentuk yang nipis, bukan menggumpal tebal, dia dalam bentuk yang nipis, sekeping macam tu. And then we cut the dry rubber into small pieces. Okay, and then at the end, lepas dia dah coagulate dalam bentuk yang kita nak, dalam bentuk sekeping, barulah kita dip into disulfur dichloride. This is the process of vulcanization. Okay, to make rubber more elastic. Okay, and we can test which one is much more better. Is it true vulcanized rubber is more better or not? We can test this rubber. Okay, by put dengan meletakkan beban. So kita boleh tengok lah yang mana yang kita, bila kita letak beban, dia stretch, and then ukur berapa panjang stretch dia. Bila lepaskan beban, tengok it's turn to original length ataupun tidak. Okay, so this is the difference between the characteristic of vulcanized rubber and unvulcanized rubber. So bila sebut unvulcanized rubber, meaning that this is the original rubber before treatment. So vulcanized more elastic, unvulcanized less hardness, vulcanized more hard, unvulcanized soft, vulcanized more strength, unvulcanized low strength, resistant toward heat. Vulcanized is more resistant toward heat, unvulcanized is less resistant, and towards oxidation, vulcanized rubber is more resistant, susah nak berlaku oxidation, whereby unvulcanized rubber easy to be oxidized, so dia bau busuk. So if we compare this characteristic, so for sure kita akan memilih untuk menghasilkan vulcanized rubber because it is more power dari segi karakter dia. Okay, so this is just recall the position of sulfur crosslink. So whatever is, you have to know the sulfur crosslink mesti berlaku di antara carbon double bond between the first layer and the second layer. Okay, next, moving on to the properties of vulcanized rubber. Why vulcanized rubber is more elastic? Because the strong sulfur crosslink will prevent the rubber polymers from sliding when it is stretched and can return to its original shape when released. This is why the vulcanized rubber more elastic. Dia ada sulfur dekat tengah. So when you try to stretch, sulfur tu akan menarik semula the rubber polymer to its original shape and also prevent them from slide. So kalau kita ada original rubber, bila kita overstretch, dia akan menyebabkan dia tak return back to its original shape sebab dia slide. Dia turun daripada layer jadi duduk bawah layer yang kedua. Macam itulah konsep slide. Tapi kalau we have the vulcanized rubber, it didn't slide sebab the presence of sulfur crosslink akan menghalang sliding itu berlaku. Bukan itu sahaja, dia akan membantu untuk return to its original shape when released. Resistant towards oxidation. Okay, how this happen? But when we have the formation of sulfur crosslink, okay, we're going to reduce the presence of double bond between the carbon atoms. So, meaning that it is harder to oxidize. Sebab oxidation berlaku pada bahagian double bond. Lagi sikit double bond, lagi kuranglah oxidation berlaku. Resistant toward heats. High heat energy is needed to break the linkage due to the formation of strong sulfur crosslink. So, sulfur crosslink is strong bond. So, because dia strong, so kalau kita pakai natural rubber, kita sikit je heat, dia terus melt, dia terus jadi sticky. But for the natural rubber, because of the presence of sulfur crosslink tadi, sulfur tu is quite strong. So, we need more heat energy. So, bila more heat energy, high temperature lah yang boleh jadikan dia melt. Okay. So, tayar takkan melt lah walaupun cuaca panas di luar sana. Kalau dibuat daripada vulcanized rubber. This is the different, the structure different. Vulcanized rubber and unvulcanized rubber. So before stretching, nampak tak banyak beza. During stretching, dia akan menegang. Okay, so we have the sulfur in between here. So bila kita release for overstretching, kalau unvulcanized rubber yang overstretch, tarik kuat sangat, bila kita release, dia akan panjang, memanjang daripada its original. Okay, but for the vulcanized rubber, even though we overstretch, dia same before and after stretch. So maksudnya dia tak ada beza lah. Kalau tengok gambar pun nampak jelas how is described. Okay, so that's all for today. So hope you will go and look at to the end to make you more understand about this. Please watch the video about the process of vulcanization and also the process how to prove the characteristic between the vulcanized and unvulcanized rubber. Okay, so thank you.